Most traders are always looking for the next perfect strategy. Smart money concepts, orb, support and resistance, trend lines, indicators. I try many of them all. But today I want to look at something different. An SP500 Renko Scalping strategy idea from the Renko Chart Trading Revolution book by the Stop Hunter. I'm not here to say that this strategy is magic or it works. I want to understand the idea and explain it in simple words, and later for you to try test it and properly to backtest it with Python. So let's begin. I'll show you how the strategy works. So the strategy is simple. We're gonna use only 4 indicators, but currently now I have the free version, so I'm gonna use only 2 at the moment, and then 2 for the Renko blocks. The thing is, in the book they are using 10 minutes on normal candles and 1 minute on Renko, but currently I have the free version, like I said, so I'm gonna use daily. So the strategy is like this. These are the settings of the indicators. So this is how the super trend is. So usually we use this to identify the trend. So basically it's like this. So if the super trend says bearish and bearish, so both of them, so that means we are gonna look at this this area here for this particular from 16th of January till 7th of April. So we're looking only for sells. So with that being said, we're going to transfer now to Renko. So for Renko we need the other 2 indicators. So Renko actually we're just gonna use to identify the trend. So basically we need to see if the trend is for down, and then we're trying to look for sells. So how do you do it? So we do it like this. Like I said, in this area, yeah. So here, as you see, it's a uptrend and goes to downtrend, and for uptrend and for downtrend, and then here's another downtrend, another trying for an uptrend, and particular downtrend here. Usually what I'm using is I'm using extensions. So you can also try check it in internet about Renko extensions. So one of the sections is called 1 back pattern and 2 back pattern. So currently here this is 2 back pattern. So you can always try look for trades in Renko, but we are using the stop losses on normal candles. So I'll show you how I do it. So the first things first about Renko is the block size. You can always try change it with percentage, traditional, or ATR. With ATR this is a bit too much. As you can see, it's really big. So for example, you can have 2020 like here, and then here we have 2026. So this is actually 6 years. So I prefer using percentage. You can always lower the percentage, for example 1.5, 15 for example you can use. So this is even more blocks, or if you want you can just use 1. So this is really too much blocks, as you can see here. I would say that this is too much noise, and I prefer using 2. So it just reduces the too much the noise. If you don't like it, you can always try test it with 3 or 5 or 4, it depends. But I always try do it with 2. So with that being said, so now what are we going to do now? So it's we're going to normal candles. You use the first 2 indicators to identify the trend. So it's for selling, so we need to look for sells, yeah. So you go back to Renko, then you turn them on. So this is like the moving average. So usually if you're for sales, you're going to look for trades if the price is under the line, and also the super trend also is saying it's bearish, so we're using this for the trading. What else is I want to say is that, like I said, extensions, you can always try check and see what is the pattern on in Renko. So 2-back pattern is this. When it's like in downtrend, uptrend is the same like this, but instead of this blue it should be like a black and then blue. So this is gonna be, for example, let me see something. So this is called 1-back pattern, this is called 2-back pattern. So you see like only 2 blocks bearish and then goes up. So this is called bullish 2-back pattern, this is bullish 1-back pattern. So this is bearish 2-back pattern. So I'm waiting something like this. This is why I didn't enter here or here or here or here, because this is not what I'm looking for. So I'm looking something like this. So how do you make this? It's like that. So after this block closes, so this is called like 2-back pattern, and then you use this as an entry point. How do you set your take profits and stop loss? So you do it like this. This is the 2-back pattern, so this is the end. Then you count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 blocks. So this is 10 blocks, yep. And then you multiply from what you have. So you have 15. So 10 multiplied 15 is 150. But since you are, let me just make sure. Yeah. So 150, so that means we need to take out 150 out of 6,825. So 6,825 minus 115 is 6,675. So that means our take profit is going to be on 6,675. This is our take profit. And stop loss, we're going to use the super trend here, for example. So this is gonna be our stop loss. So basically you're making the trade like this and take profit like this. The best part in trading Renko is like whenever you have the repeating patterns like this one here, you can always use it also as a re-entry. So for example here as well, you place this here, and as well you have here polarity patterns. Because why is it polarity? Is because these blocks are meeting again and then reversing. So why Renko is also good for trading is because it spots really well the movement of the market, and also you can spot really easy like support and resistance. Like here is support, and you can use this as a resistance. As you can see, price moves up and back, here, 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 and then it breaks. So yeah, so like I was saying, here you can use this also as a support and resistance, and then you can also, like for example, hold the trade, let's say, or you can just use this also to tell you when to hold the trade. Yep. So basically you enter again here, you can enter again here, like here, stop loss a little bit above, or if you want you can put it precisely, and then count again like 2, 4, 6, 8. So that means like 8 multiply 15 is 120. So here is 6,750 minus 120 is 6,630. So you will put your take profit here, for example. Then what happens? Eventually the price activates the order and it goes down, and then here you have another two back pattern. So this is why Renko is really well. And also you can also hold the trade until, for example, the price breaks the moving average in the Bollinger Bands. Or if you want to be like sure, like you can use this as a target. So if this breaks this resistance line here, then for example you can exit the trade. Or like I said, you're just gonna use your stop losses. So this is the strategy. It's scalping, but the thing is you can do it manually, of course, but the best part is like in the book is really like telling you how to code using the Visual Studio Code. I'm just gonna show you a bit of my files, like how I coded. Even also you don't need to be expert in coding, or because now currently we have this AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini and so on, and they can help you build those codes. Let me just show you a quick my Studio Visual Code. So here is it. Here, as you can see, all these files that have been created, it's all thanks to ChatGPT, because I'm not that good at coding, but thing is he's creating all the files and all the coding that actually really works, and after you run the scripts, everything is running and trades are being executed also. Yeah, I mean, it works. It's really well written. Also his Python course and also how to build a Renko bot course also are very useful, and for study concepts, and if you want to relearn how to code, it's really well made. So yeah, with that being said, without being said, this is the basic idea of the strategy. I don't want to pretend that just because something is in the book automatically works. I mean, for me it's interesting part in the structure. It gives me something clear to study, when to trade, when the market to focus on, what to focus on the market, how Renko block size matters. Like, this is the most tricky part, like this is the most important part, is the block size. So also it shows you how to filter direction, where the stop loss idea comes from, and how to think about exiting the risk. If you want to study the full explanation, examples and details, you can check the Renko Chart Trading Revolution book from the Stop Hunter. I will leave the link in the description, but for me, reading the strategy is only step one. Like, the real work starts after that. Like, I want to take the idea and understand the logic, and then build it step by step with Python. And the good thing is that even if you're not like I said, like if you're not a good and expert in coder, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, so to help you understand the code and structure files to fix errors and build the project slowly. I'm doing the same thing now with myself, like with the strategy that I use from the book, and yeah. So this is the plan. I'm not going to rush and say the strategy is good or bad. Also, like, first I need to turn the idea into clear rules, then I need to test it in real historical data. Only after that I can start asking better questions, like how many trades does it take, what is the win rate, what's the drawdown, does the stop loss make sense, this strategy survives different market conditions, like you've seen now. Also, what happens with the market, they're very bad at the moment. This is what I also want to say. Like, this channel is gonna be about like no hype, no guessing, like learning and coding, backtesting and improving. So I've been struggling also a lot with so many strategies, so many indicators. I bought indicators, and this is the only thing that actually makes more sense, and it's making my trading really well and calm. Like before, I was using like smart money concepts. Like I was just using, for example, 15 minutes, then I was just like waiting for 6 o'clock to open the market. Then this is like how is it called, the strategy, midnight New York open. I've been using this, then not so many trades. If the line is above, if the price is above the line, then we're looking for buys and sales, but it's not always like this. Or for example, I'm using the orb strategy, for example, but so many fake breakouts there are. Like here, for example, this is good example. Yeah, it worked. Like here it worked. There's a breakout. You put your take profit entry here, you put your stop loss here, you make it 1:1 to risk or 1:2 risk to reward ratio or something like that, but then eventually the price reverses and hits your stop loss. So this is for me, this is not where you trade like the trend lines. You start on daily, like here, this is the trend line, then you try to look for sales, buys, and blah blah, and so on and so on. But in the book, it's really well written to understand like the logic behind Renko. So I'm gonna end this video today. So if you want to study the book yourself, I'll leave the link in the description, like I said. And for the next video, I'll continue trying to turn the Renko scalping ideas into Python rules and then try to backtest it. So see you in the next video. Bye.